We are indeed in very, very extraordinary times, and the COVID-19 pandemic and government's response, both in India and across the globe, has really fundamentally altered many aspects of our social and economic lives. And it is therefore only inevitable that our work in the social impact sector has also been fundamentally altered. So much about our social and economic landscape that many took for granted was laid bare. And in that process of laying bare, the civil society landscape, in fact, the role that civil society organizations play in society, was actually brought out in ways that I think have been somewhat unprecedented. The fact that it has brought out in very, very stark terms the centrality of civil society organizations, of social mobilization and social impact organizations as a crucial pillar of society. And I think that is a very important lesson for us also, because it should make us reflect much harder about who we are as a community, about the central role that we play in shaping society, and should open us up, I think, to more internal dialogue of critique and self-reflection, because what we do in our everyday lives has a huge impact on the everyday lives of all those whom we serve. And I think that the challenge we confront as a community is that we aren't exactly, we don't have that much of a markup for salary cuts either. You know, there are two things that we should be pushing in conversations with our funders when it comes to this challenge of money. One is, how can we get a lot more flexibility in budgeting from funders that would allow us, A, to ensure that we do have a more robust social security system for within our organizations. The first challenge really is around how we organize our work. We are not, the kind of talent and where we invest our talent tends usually to be individuals and far less in institutional systems. At least in my organization, when we had to move towards a much more technology-based work from home structure, we found that we actually don't have that institutional backbone that supports long-term work from home, and that includes the talent and skill levels of many aspects of our administration that needed to reskill itself entirely. And I think and that reskilling is not just a reskilling in terms of the specific techniques that you need to be able to use different kinds of software and so on, but also the intangible team management skill. The second big challenge that we faced is that field work now is becoming very constrained, and that has two different kinds of impacts. One impact is that for most of us being out in the field, engaging and working with the communities that we hope to, in whose lives we hope to make a difference, is what really spurs our passion, is what really gives us a source of inspiration and also a source of legitimacy. When that starts becoming a lot harder, how do you keep motivation alive in the organization? And also, how do you ensure that your relevance and your legitimacy to speak on issues remains if there is this kind of distance from the people that you're working with? One of the things that we've had to do is to take this as an opportunity to say, can we at least use this time to be more reflective about what we have learned and apply those learnings to the very critical policy-related challenges that we confront today. And this has meant a certain kind of reorientation, and it will require, as it is already requiring, a certain shift in skilling. This is the time for civil society organizations, social impact organizations, non-profits, research organizations to really come together as a community, engage, learn, and share with each other, deal with our collective stresses, because the future of jobs is going to be complex, and the future of our organizations is going to be even more complex as our role in society gets strengthened and more visible.